Hello Capricorn, this predictions for Wednesday, October 23, 2024. If you have a clear direction and know the path you want to take, there's no need to speed up your pace or impose a cruising speed that could cause you to crash unnecessarily, metaphorically speaking, of course. Changes and personal renewals are the result of a maturation process, not a head trauma again, metaphorically. You don't just wake up one day and say, I'm a different person now, I've changed. You may wake up one day with the will to change, but there's a significant distance between that intention and the actual manifestation of change at that moment. In other words, the proposal to change can be inner and profound, but the process of change usually takes more time. So, give things time, better yet, let them mature naturally, and don't expect to be someone completely different from who you are. You might want to bring more order into your life, and it's fine to start with your home, your office, or your workplace, but don't expect all your habits to disappear or change magically overnight. It will take time, and you need to give yourself that time. In terms of your affections, similar situations arise. You know that your partner, for those of you who have one, is in a period of change and transformation, but anxiety can eat you up inside, making you want everything to turn around by 180 degrees today, ideally yesterday. It's better to take it all with the necessary philosophy and not rush anything. If you apply pressure in such a cycle, what you would achieve are false changes, situations that seem to have improved but are actually quite the same. So, let each thing happen in its own time. Now, let's get into the specific details regarding love, health, work, and your compatibilities for today. Regarding health, the need to purify your body and pamper it will be very present during this period. You will feel an urge, almost an obsession, to improve your diet. There's no need to embark on anything too complicated. Diets don't have to be extravagant or complicated to be effective. Keeping it simple can be much more effective. Balanced meals, plenty of hydration, and a little bit of everything, but not too much of anything. Balance. In your work life, don't try to rush changes that will happen in due course. If you push too hard in one direction, you will encounter similar resistance on the other end, especially if you are trying to convince a boss or a colleague of something specific. It's better to use this strange time to observe and visualize how the landscape presents itself, what your best options are, how to continue enhancing your professionalism, what adversities may arise along the way, and so on. Then, you will be able to think clearly about your best alternatives, and only when you have them well defined and understand the risks and virtues of each, can you take action. Remember the old theater maxim, you shouldn't step onto a stage without having a script in your head. If you are looking for a job, today is a day to take a future-oriented perspective. Focus on improving your resume, seeing how you can study a complementary module, or expanding your knowledge and consciousness in a field you want to dedicate yourself to regardless of your age. At any age, you can decide to make a change. All this will be very powerful for you. Regarding your finances, finding the way to define your personal brand is not an easy task. You need to dedicate time to think about the specific niche you are in. It should be a niche that you enjoy and that sparks your curiosity, because you could spend many hours on it. If you have an entrepreneurial spirit, which I've always said that people of your sign statistically tend to have a greater tendency toward great project ideas, then it's true that you might sometimes lack the push to say, let's go. But once you define that market niche, you should also look at your competition and know how to differentiate yourself. Maybe that little shop you'd love to set up in your city, or a nearby one, could stand out if you figure out how to differentiate it. The important thing is to dedicate significant effort and have a long-term vision. If we're talking about a domestic economy that doesn't involve your own business, it is true that you will experience a period of tranquility. It will seem as if the bills are up to date, everything is in order, and if you have requested any state or government assistance, it will be granted. Everything seems to be in balance, a time of calm to help you learn to manage better. Remember that when lean times come, so to speak, you have to hold back. And when prosperity returns, you have to save. Basic common sense and household economics. Now, regarding love, various signs indicate that a few turbulent moments could arise with your partner. But these are not necessarily bad. Don't panic. In one way or another, tense situations have accumulated, unresolved arguments, and some bad news from the past that could be testing the resilience of the bond. For those of you who have been together for many years, this will feel like a breeze. It will be, okay, let's manage this together as a couple because we are solid and well established. For those of you who are just starting your relationship, only a few weeks or months in, the first or second argument can feel like a hurricane, and it might seem like the foundations of your feelings are being challenged. But again, no need for panic or drama. Communicate, discuss, forgive, and return to sweet moments together. For couples who have just started living together, it's best to maintain calm in the face of early disagreements. The same principle applies. Don't dramatize either for you or your partner at the moment when differing visions, opinions, or incompatible ways of handling some issues come to light. It requires more effort to understand each other's positions and put yourself in the other's shoes. If you are single, things may come together purely by chance. Every time you thought about wanting to be in a relationship, it was difficult to find the right person. But when you stop putting energy into that, then meetings flow naturally. That's where the understanding lies for the things you want to do. At that point, love is also present. The way you handle that naturalness is key. As I said, as a single person, things come about by chance. After all, when you met your ex-partner, there was a moment when you didn't know them, and suddenly you did. As for your energy today, it's very high. Your entrepreneurial impulses will be running wild, and you have the energy to do 1,000 things. This is a very positive point. However, since we're talking about balance, it's best to try to pace yourself throughout the day. If you exert yourself too much by midday or afternoon, you might find yourself drained of energy. The positive situation you need to enhance today is the small signals that leave a mark on your thoughts. These are interesting ways to filter the information you receive. Focus only on what you can remember the next day and what has left you with a lesson that is very positive. On the negative side, be careful with overly strong impulses that may cause some strings of friendship, understanding, or comprehension to snap. Don't pull too hard on them, as it could lead to an unpleasant surprise. This is also a metaphor. Be cautious about pushing too hard in the direction that benefits you. It might reveal a selfish side of yourself that, in a way, you don't see or feel, but it's something you need to sort out. Try to dedicate time to think of others, because you are a sign of giving and thoughtfulness toward others, and you can manage that. For students, you need to put more effort into moving out of this stage. You may have felt stuck lately. It's true that past predictions indicated days of more focus and days where you needed more disconnect, etc. But you may not have enjoyed that too much. However, it's essential to know when to finish cycles. If you already know something, move on to the next subject. Don't get stuck reviewing before an exam days before. It's fine to review before an exam, but also know when to say, okay, I know this, I'm moving on to the next topic or chapter, whatever it is you have to study. But don't get stuck in a loop, allowing for new knowledge to come in. You have a brilliant mind, and you need to remember this, give time to each thing. As for compatibilities, today you have a wonderful day with these 3 signs. First, with people of the sign Aries, you have a fantastic day with wonderful closeness, a lot of leadership, understanding, and a great sense of humor. It's as if all the interesting values you can have together are compressed into a single day, so it will depend on what you have with someone from Aries, whether it's work, love, family, or anything else. You really can accomplish anything. Second, with people of the sign Gemini, communication expands, becoming much larger, more intense, and stronger. And third, with people of the sign Libra, you have a sensational day filled with noble, active, happy, and very positive attitudes. On the downside, you might have some kind of argument or distancing with someone of the sign Aquarius, but you know this is only for today and only if you argue. I wish you an absolutely wonderful day. Until tomorrow.